Hello everybody and welcome back to Very Biased Opinions. It's Ian here as always and we're ready to dive into another round of Premier League predictions. We're not going to stall any time, we're jumping straight into this with the first match, which is Arsenal versus Fulham. Well, a bad few weeks for Fulham continues. They get themselves into good positions and they continue to find ways to lose matches. That is 3 matches they've had now in a row. They're ultimately games they should have got results from. And they've not managed to get anything. That all goes all the way back to Leeds, where they played really poorly at home, and Leeds outplayed them really. And then inexplicably throwing away points against Aston Villa. And then on Friday night, they lost to Wolves 1-0. Extremely tight game, which could have gone either way. It looked like it was just heading for a draw, which would have been something. But then Adama Traore breaks his goal drought and smashes one into the top corner. So it's kind of getting to last chance saloon time for Fulham. This is one of the ones where they really need to take points. They'll be hoping that Arsenal put all their eggs into that Europa League basket and will play a weakened side. But I do expect the Gunners to have the opposite effect really and have a bit of freedom and to play without any stress. Who knows, they might even be out of the Europa League and looking for a bit of revenge. But I just don't see Fulham being able to get anything out of this one. I see Arsenal being too quick and too fluid on the counter-attack, a little bit like they were at the start of the season. And I see Arsenal doing something similar to what they've just done to Sheffield United and pick them off. And I see it being a 3-0 win to Arsenal. Everton versus Tottenham Hotspur. Well, both of these sides are pushing for a top 4 place, but both of these sides are not making a very good fist of it. Everton, yeah, it's kind of fading away for them, isn't it? They've still got a couple of games in hand, so if they can win this one against Tottenham, it certainly puts them back into the mix with the games in hand that they do have. But with Dominic Calvert-Lewin now injured, they do look a little bit toothless without him, and they didn't look very good against Brighton. In fact, they were kind of lucky to get away with a 0-0 draw, and all of that goes back to that game where they destroyed Palace, only to end up with a 1-1 draw at the end of it. So it seems like a bit of missed opportunities for Everton at the end of the season. Don't know what Everton's going to turn up. Hopefully when they're playing a better side in Spurs, that will bring the better side out of Everton. If you know what I mean. But hopefully DCL will be back for them. And Tottenham, wow, 80% of Tottenham fans, I think on a recent poll, want Jose Mourinho out. It certainly isn't going the way they expected. Basically, it's League Cup or nothing, it seems, for Tottenham. 1-0 up again, winning a game. Managed to lose it. Played really poor in that second half against Manchester United, and I think deserved to lose that game in the end. It's head scratching really to see what is happening with this Tottenham side. It's yeah, I just don't know. It's amazing when you think, yeah, they've not been good enough, but the amount of times they've been ahead in games and thrown away points. If you'd have just taken half of those games, if they would have won, I think they would have been in a top 4 position. So it's not looking good for Jose at the moment. They're going to be relying on the usual 2 to get them out of it, because he doesn't seem to want to play Bale anytime, does he? Though I am thinking it's a difficult one. I think I'm going to lean towards Spurs. I don't know why. I'm mad. I'm mad for backing Tottenham, and I know it. But I'm leaning towards Tottenham in this one. Let me know in the comments how wrong I am. But I'm going for Everton 1, Tottenham 2. Leeds United versus Liverpool. Okay, well, this one should be exciting, shouldn't it? Look, remember back to the first game of the season where an unknown Leeds quantity, we didn't know anything about them, went toe-to-toe with Liverpool, champions, all conquering Liverpool, and nearly got something at Anfield. They were a breath of fresh air that day, and they've been a breath of fresh air all the way through this season. In amazing form. What an amazing result they had last weekend against Manchester City. 1-0 up, down to 10 men. They tried to do the old backs to the wall thing. It didn't work, and they just thought, sod it, let's just go for it. Got the reward in the end. Stuart Dallas with 2 great goals. I am hoping that Leeds carry this forward now, and that is just, they're going to be at their swashbuckling best again. It's a Liverpool side where it's a little bit of a mixed bag. I'm expecting them to go out of the Champions League midweek, but they might not be. They might still be in it, but you still don't know what you're going to get from Liverpool. They're finding a way to win Premier League games. A really good example of that was last weekend, where it seemed all doom and gloom, but then they did manage to pull that 2-1 win out at the end over Aston Villa, with Trent Alexander-Arnold seemingly having a good game, then a bad game, then a good game, then a bad game. So maybe he'll have the bad game against Real Madrid and maybe the good game here. I don't know. Again, this is a tough one. I'm just going to go for a draw, I think. I'd love to back Leeds, but I'm just not confident that they can do it against Liverpool or beat Liverpool. They'll be able to play good football, but won't be able to beat this Liverpool side. And I think Liverpool will somehow get a draw. I'm going for a Desmond in this one. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw, which kind of doesn't really help Liverpool in that quest to get back into the top four. If they do go out of the Champions League this week, which I am expecting them to do against Real Madrid, then it kind of leaves them in a bit of jeopardy, really, of getting into that top four. Really, kind of, they're not guaranteed to get it. There's other sides that are playing well as well. So that would be a disappointing result for Liverpool, some drop points. But again, I do think it's a draw just based on the fact of Leeds being so good. So 2-2 for me in this one. If you do like this video, please give it a like. That helps us out so much on YouTube. And if you do like the content, hit that subscribe button and hit the notify bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. But there is another way that you can support this channel, and that is through our Patreon. If you do want to go that extra mile and become one of our Patreon backers, then it starts from as little as £3 a month, and that extra bit of money does go a long way to help support us on this channel, so we would really appreciate it. The details are on the screen and they're down in the description below, but if you don't want to help us out financially, just hitting that like button or watching any minute of any video is greatly appreciated. And we're just going to jump on to the next game. Newcastle United versus West Ham United. So obviously these games this week, obviously it's not a full round of fixtures, as you probably realised by now, because of the FA Cup, but all these games are reverses of what we saw on match day 1. And if you go back to match day 1, that was probably where Newcastle produced one of their best performances of the season, where they beat West Ham by a couple of goals to nil. My God, how the fortunes have changed for those sides. But Newcastle have hit a bit of form at the right time. Who knows whether it's Bruce, who knows whether it's just the players who've just got down and said, right, we just need to get ourselves out of this, and created like this siege mentality. Who knows if it's all of those things. But it matters not, Newcastle fans. It matters that you've got some points on the board. You got a wonderful 2-2 draw with Tottenham a couple of weeks ago, and you back that up with a bit of the Alan Saint-Maximin show against Burnley. 1-0 down, looking like it was going to be one of those disappointing performances of... Is it a Steve Bruce masterclass, or is it just throw enough stuff at the board and some of it sticks? Saint-Maximin came on, and you know you don't need me to tell you he's mercurial talent, and he changed this game by just being directly running at that Burnley side, causing all sorts of problems. Made a goal, scored a goal, turned the tie on its head, and all of a sudden Newcastle look pretty much safe now with a nice 6-point cushion. Only maybe need to grind out maybe even one win and a draw, and they'll be safe from the drop zone. So a massive turnaround in fortunes for them. They're coming up against the West Ham United side that are fighting for a Champions League place. They're on the cusp of finishing 4th this season. They've got themselves a great chance of doing that. But what is it with their games? How the hell do they keep finding a way to nearly blow 3-goal leads every single week? They did it against Arsenal, and then they were 3-0 up against Wolves and just about held on, and then they were 3-0 up against Leicester, and the same thing happened again, and it was really last chance saloon at the end there. But it never should have been like that. They were all over Leicester. They dominated them. Jared Bowen, superb. Noble came back in for Rice. He's going to be out for a little bit. That's a bit of a concern for them. But Jessie Lingard just continues to be incredible in his little renaissance since joining West Ham on loan. Another couple of goals for him. He has transformed this side into being a side that looked like they might just finish outside bet for a Europa League spot to being firmly in that mix now for Champions League places. And that is probably the biggest surprise of the season if they do get that. So although Newcastle have been looking good, I cannot back against the Hammers in this one. I just think they're going to have too much power and pace for them. But to make it fun, let's go for the same score that they've been having for a while. Let's go for Newcastle 2, West Ham 3, with West Ham hanging on a little bit at the end. Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Sheffield United. It's nearly last rites for Sheffield United. They could actually be relegated this weekend with a loss, and if other results go against them. But if it's not this weekend, it will probably be the next weekend. It's only a matter of time. The results are getting worse since Chris Wilder left, really, and I think most people thought that might happen with the kind of Not so much the lack of effort from the players, but just the lack of discipline, it seems, from them as well. They played all right against Arsenal, but they just got picked off, and in the end, the lack of quality that they have is just evident, and it's shown this season, and that's the biggest reason why they've been where they are. Wolves have had a poor year. There's no beating around the bush. They've struggled. I mean, they've not really given their fans much to shout about, but they did get that 1-0 win on Friday night last time out against Fulham. Traore returned to form, so they'll be hoping that he continues. It's been a long drought before he smashed that one into the top corner. Could the keeper have done better? Maybe, but Wolves won't care. And I don't think this one's going to be anything special, but I do see Wolverhampton Wanderers just nicking it. I'm going to go for Wolves 2, Sheffield United 0. Just the 6 games this weekend in the Premier League. We've done 5 of them. It's time for the final match. Manchester United versus Burnley. They win their game in hand. They're only 8 points behind Manchester City. Man United making a late dash for the Premier League? I doubt it. But it's not of them playing badly or anything like that. It's just because City don't look like losing that many games. But Manchester United, I thought, produced one of the best performances I've seen from them all season against Tottenham. I thought that was a brilliant display. Very, very unlucky with that goal that was disallowed in the first half. Disgraceful decision, in my opinion. I mean, why Son just does what footballers does. He gets hit, he gets flicked in the face and rolls around. But the referees and VAR should be better than that. And that should have been given as a Man United goal. But they didn't cost them. They didn't act as if the world was against them. They were 1-0 down at half time. They do what they always do away from home, turned it around, and with the likes of Cavani and the likes of Pogba looking sharp and looking somewhat back to the best, they look a really dangerous side and look a really strong side. And I think this is, for me, it's no reason that they are where they are in the league, because I can only really think of Manchester City being a better side than Manchester United this year. I think they've got a really good squad. I still have question marks against Solskjaer, but on the pitch they've got a quality side, and I thought they were excellent against Tottenham. As I say, one of the best performances and results of their season. They shouldn't have any problems against this Burnley side. This Burnley side is struggling. The way things are going, they're going to be the side that finishes just outside the drop zone, because it looks like Brighton and Newcastle are probably going to overtake them. They don't score enough goals. Recently they've been getting into the leading game and throwing it away. Last 2 weeks they've managed to drop points from a winning position against Southampton and Newcastle, so that's not a very good sign, is it, for Burnley? Yes, tough times for them, and if Dyche, well, he will, just to manage to keep them up, who knows what's going to roll on for them next season. But nothing for them here, I'm afraid. Won't be a good game at all, though. Won't be a lot of goals. Burnley will be stubborn, and Man United seem to be a much different side at home than they are away for some reason, but they'll find a way to win, because that's what they do. Manchester United 2, Burnley 0. Okay, folks, thanks for watching. That'll just about do it for this round of Premier League predictions. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, why haven't you subscribed? Hit that subscribe button and the notify bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Give your comments down below. I want to have your predictions, and I want you to tell me how wrong or how right I am. We'll be back very soon with more content. You know we will. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.